Why do humans find themselves more deeply persuaded by a single story than by a vast mountain of cold facts and raw data? Why is it that we understand complex ideas more profoundly and remember them much longer when woven into a narrative? This phenomenon is rooted in our essence. If we look back to the very beginning of humanity, stories came before writing. Long before the first letter was etched into stone, our ancestors were already sharing their lives through spoken tales. In those early days, gathered around the flickering light of a communal fire, stories were the primary way of transmitting experience. For those early humans, storytelling was not merely a form of entertainment. It was a sophisticated and vital tool for survival. They shared tales of the hunt, communicated locations of danger, and passed down the collective wisdom of their ancestors. By telling stories about which choices led to success and which led to peril, they accumulated the knowledge to thrive. Even after the invention of writing and the emergence of civilizations, our fundamental reliance on stories did not change. We have always lived in a world of narratives, using them to structure our understanding of time and our place in the cosmos. History itself was not just a record of dates. It was written as a narrative of struggle, triumph, and the evolution of nations. Great religions were spread not through abstract principles alone, but through powerful stories that touched the human soul. Culture was maintained and passed down through the generations via the myths and legends that defined a community's identity. Today, in our high-tech and data-saturated world, we continue to perceive and interpret our reality in exactly the same way. Whether we are reading the news or planning our futures, we are constantly filtering our experiences through a narrative lens. Consider the modern news cycle. While it lists facts, people only truly begin to understand when facts are contextualized. We take fragments of information and reassemble them into a coherent story that makes sense of the complex world around us. Corporations have also mastered this art. They no longer simply explain products, they craft compelling brand stories. They build emotional connections by inviting consumers to become part of a larger narrative of innovation and progress. In the same way, as individuals, we do not just live our lives. We define our existence by the stories we choose to tell. We are the authors of our own identities. We take past experiences and weave them into a story that defines who we are. This process is essential because humans do not accept information exactly as it is. We are wired to look for context. When we transform information into a narrative structure, we finally gain the ability to comprehend and retain knowledge. Ultimately, we must recognize that humans are not merely data processors. We are fundamentally narrative-driven beings. We perceive the entire world not through binary code or spreadsheets, but through the rich tapestry of storytelling. The core insight is that the human brain is designed to construct context rather than just store isolated data points. Our cognitive architecture is optimized for patterns and relationships, the very building blocks of a successful narrative. Research in cognitive science from institutions like Harvard and Stanford has confirmed this fundamental aspect of our psychology. These studies show that information connected by narrative structures is remembered far more effectively by the human brain. By linking the beginning, the process, and the result, a story creates a powerful sense of meaning and order out of chaos. This is precisely why, when faced with any significant event, we naturally ask the question, why did this happen? We are not satisfied with just knowing what occurred. We seek to understand the why to build a story that makes sense. Stories are uniquely powerful because they stimulate both our logical reasoning and our deep emotional responses. This dual stimulation of heart and mind drives human behavior more strongly than any list of facts or arguments ever could. Because we are moved by stories, they are the primary tool we use to construct our subjective and objective realities. We do not see the world as it is. We see it through the stories we have built. This is most evident in history. The same historical event can take on entirely different meanings depending on the narrative framework applied to it. A war, for example, is rarely seen as just a collision. It is reframed as a story of justice, sacrifice, or honor. In the business world, the most successful companies are those that sell a vision and a story, not just technology. Apple does not just sell computers, they sell a story of challenging the status quo and empowering the individual. People are drawn to these stories because they resonate with their own narratives and desire for a meaningful life. Our personal lives follow these same narrative rules. How we tell our own story determines our lived experience. One person might choose to view a difficult failure as the final end of their journey, a tragedy with no recovery. Another person might frame that same event as a necessary and vital step in their ongoing process of growth and learning. This difference in perspective is not a matter of different realities, but a matter of how we interpret facts. While the stories we tell ourselves do not change reality, they fundamentally change how we perceive and react. A change in our perception leads to a change in our behavior, which leads to completely different results. This brings us to a powerful message. If you want to understand the world, you must learn to construct better stories. And if you truly want to change your life, you must start by changing the story you tell about your past and future. We often focus on changing the events of our lives, but the real power lies in changing our interpretation. Instead of asking, "What is this event?" we should ask, "What kind of story am I choosing to make of this?" The moment you shift focus to the construction of your own story, the entire direction of your life begins to shift. The transformation you can achieve through this simple shift in perspective is both profound and permanent. You will find that you are no longer just a consumer of information, but a deliberate creator of your own meaning. You become someone who is no longer swayed by external events, but someone who steers their own ship through story. Instead of living with the weight of regret, you can become someone who reinterprets every lesson for its value. Every challenge becomes a chapter in your story that adds depth, wisdom, and strength to the person you are today. We must always remember that as human beings, we live within the very stories that we create for ourselves. We do not remember the cold facts of our lives. We remember the stories that gave facts their emotional resonance. Therefore, our ability to narrate is perhaps the strongest and most uniquely human competitiveness we possess. Your life is not just a random series of occurrences. It is a single, unfolding story that you are writing today. To put it slightly with a smile, some people spend their lives writing a terrible day in their own minds. Meanwhile, others choose to write the start of a legend, seeing every obstacle as a trial to be overcome. The fundamental problem is never the day itself. The problem is the title you choose to give to your story. I invite you to expand your thinking and your personal stories through the lens of humanities and my insights. If you found value in this lecture, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel and press the like button. By joining our community, you will help us continue to provide deep insights that will nourish your soul. I wish you all the very best on your journey of self-discovery. May your own story be one of meaning and joy. Thank you for joining me for this academic masterclass. I am Dr. James Ko, and it has been a privilege today. For more information or to reach out directly, you can contact me at my email address. I look forward to it. Name, Jongmoon Ko, James Ko. Email, k90391198@gmail.com. Contact me for scholarly collaboration and insights today. Power of storytelling, humanity and stories, academic insight, cognitive science, life interpretation, meaning making. Focus on these themes. Search, why humans like stories, importance of storytelling, changing your life story, cognitive science memory, meaning making, human evolution narrative. Reflect on your own narrative today. What title will you give to your life story starting now? Thank you for watching. May your stories be great. Farewell, and take care on your journey. Every page of our lives is an opportunity to write a better and more profound story of existence. As we conclude this session, take a moment to reflect on the overarching narrative you are building. Our stories connect us across time and space, creating a shared human experience that transcends all boundaries. Thank you for your deep attention and scholarly engagement. May your future stories be legendary and true. This has been Dr. James Ko. Farewell, and thank you for being a part of this story.